Once upon a time, there were 3 brothers, Mike, John, and Adam, living in a small town. When they were little children, their father passed away, leaving their mother to care for them alone. She worked day and night. She did everything she could to raise them with love. She taught them right from wrong. Life was tough, but she never gave up. Sadly, their mother passed away a few years ago. The brothers were very sad. But they stayed strong. They remembered her love and lessons. And they promised to always help each other no matter what. Mike ran a small shop. John became a priest. And Adam had just finished his education. He took on small jobs to earn some money and learn new skills. Despite their struggles, all 3 brothers were honest, kind, and hardworking. One morning, Adam woke up as the soft sunlight came through the window. He stretched and yawned and looked around.
Oh, everyone is still asleep.
He thought.
No one made breakfast. If I don't do it, we will be late.
Without wasting time, Adam got out of bed and headed to the kitchen. He decided to make a special breakfast. First, he put water on the stove to boil for tea. While waiting, he took out eggs, tomatoes, and cheese. He whisked the eggs in a bowl, added salt, and chopped a handful of tomatoes. Then, he melted some butter in a pan, poured in the eggs, sprinkled the cheese, and tossed in the tomatoes to make a fluffy omelette. As the omelette cooked, he toasted some bread and spread butter and honey on each slice. He also fried a few sausages until they were golden and crisp. Meanwhile, the water started boiling. So he added tea leaves and sugar, letting it simmer. After a few minutes, he poured in some milk and stirred it well until the tea turned a creamy brown. To make the meal complete, Adam arranged some fresh strawberries, oranges, and grapes on a plate. When the tea was ready, he poured it into 3 mugs and set everything on the table. With a satisfied smile, he washed his hands and went to the stairs.
Mike! John! Wake up!
Adam called cheerfully.
Breakfast is ready. Omelette, sausages, toast, fruit, and hot tea with milk. If you don't hurry, I might eat it all myself.
Hearing the delicious food, his brothers groaned, stretched, and laughed as they got out of bed.
You are the best, Adam.
John said, rushing to the table, ready to enjoy the feast. The three brothers sat around the table, enjoying the warm breakfast. The omelette was fluffy, the sausages were sizzling, and the toast was perfectly golden. Mike took a bite of the omelette and smiled.
I'm sure Adam will take good care of his wife when he gets married.
John laughed as he sipped his tea.
Oh yes. She won't even need to make breakfast. Adam will do it all for her.
Adam laughed, shaking his head.
No way. I'm sure my wife will be just like me. She will make delicious breakfasts for me.
The brothers burst out laughing, enjoying both the food and fun talk together. One evening, the doorbell rang. Adam went to open the door.
Uncle Jonathan,
He said with a smile. Mike and John, sitting in the lounge, looked over.
Uncle. What a surprise. Come in.
Mike called. Uncle Jonathan laughed as he stepped inside.
I hope I'm not bothering you boys.
You are always welcome.
John said. Adam and John went to the kitchen and quickly made tea and sandwiches. Soon, they came back and joined Mike and Uncle Jonathan at the table.
You boys always treat me too well.
Uncle Jonathan said, enjoying a sandwich. Mike smiled.
That's what family is for. Right?
Uncle Jonathan laughed.
Now, did I ever tell you about the time your father and I got lost in the woods?
The brothers sat closer and listened to his story with smiles on their faces. Uncle Jonathan had been worried these days about finding the right match for his daughter. One night, as he sat in his chair, he was lost in thought. He wanted someone who would care for her and also manage his business well. With a sigh, he stared out the window, wondering who that right person could be.
I really like my friend's sons.
He said to himself.
They are well-mannered and kind. Any of them would be a great choice for my daughter. But I need to see who can manage my business.
Suddenly, an idea sparked in his mind.
Oh, I think this idea will work.
The next day, Uncle Jonathan went to each of the three brothers one by one. He gave them each a sack of rice and said,
My dear, I am going away for a few months for some necessary work. Please look after this sack of rice till I come back.
Uncle Jonathan went away. Many months passed, but he did not return. It was nearly a year before he came back. He visited the eldest brother first. Mike welcomed him and gave him a small purse full of money.
Uncle, you had left a sack of rice with me. After a few months, I was worried that it might get spoiled. Therefore, I sold the rice to my customers. Here's the money I got. Please accept it.
Thank you, my dear. You are such an honest person.
Then Uncle Jonathan went to see John, who was a priest. John greeted him with joy and affection. He said,
Uncle, remember you had left a sack of rice with me a year ago? I had kept it for many months. But then I was worried that it might get spoiled. I distributed the rice among the poor in your name. They all blessed you for satisfying their hunger. However, I did that without your permission. And I am willing to pay you back for the rice.
No, my dear. You acted wisely and kindly. The blessings that I got from the poor people are enough for me. Please don't even think about money anymore.
when Uncle Jonathan went to visit the youngest brother, Adam. He, too, welcomed him with love and respect. But he said that he had a confession to make. Adam said,
The sack of rice was lying with me for a long time. But then I had an idea. I often go to a neighboring farm to help with the work. I borrowed an unused plot of land from the farmer. I exchanged the sack of rice for paddy, and sowed the paddy in the plot. Fortunately, the crop grew well, and yielded 25 sacks of rice. I have kept back 5 of the sacks, and sold 20 of them. Here's the money. If you allow, I would like to keep a part of it as my share. Considering the labor and money I spent to get it all done.
A wide smile spread on Uncle Jonathan's face. He had found his future son-in-law. Moral: hard work and honesty bring great reward.